with the George H.W. Bush Presidential Foundation that President Trump would be involved tonight by way of that video message that the White House then released the video. And quite frankly, it's been really difficult to get a straight answer from either party about whether or not the president was invited and why he wouldn't be a part of tonight's event otherwise. But this video, the answer we're getting from both sides when now asked that question. This event has actually been on people's calendars for a long time, Fred. It was originally scheduled to be the 20th anniversary celebration of George H.W. Bush's Presidential Library, Foundation, and School of Government and Public Service here at Texas A&M. But as those floodwaters ravaged Houston and Hurricane Harvey devastated so much of the coast of Texas, it was George H.W. Bush himself who had the idea to turn this celebration into an opportunity to raise funds for those in need. That need, of course, grew with Hurricanes Maria and Irma. We do know tonight that we will see all 5 former living presidents on stage together, though, Fred, it's unclear who among them will address the crowd.
Okay, and so Boris, you know, the White House's strategy now, or the importance of releasing this video now as opposed to saving it till, you know, this evening, and then, you know, an answer, you know, from the White House as to why the president wouldn't be there live.
Hey there, Fred. Yeah, so there was a bit of a response from the White House in terms of the video. They said that they expressed a deep gratitude for being asked to participate in the event. There's no clear indication as to why the president wouldn't be there in person, but it's not really hard to imagine that the optics would be odd. Just this week, you had 2 former presidents, as we were discussing earlier, George W. Bush and Barack Obama, directly and indirectly talking about the state of politics in this country in a negative light, with some allusions to this administration. Bill Clinton is also going to be there. The president has, as recently as last week, been tweeting about the former First Lady and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in not positive terms. There's no love lost between President Trump and the Clintons, so it would certainly be a bit of an odd optic to have them all on stage at the same time, even if for a good cause. Though I did want to point out that the president did thank all of these former presidents, even those who have been critical of him, by name, saying that he's deeply grateful for their efforts, and their ability to work together signals that we are all one united nation, Fred.
Okay. Boris Sanchez, Kaylee Hartung, thanks so much. We're going to talk more about all of this. Let me bring in CNN contributor Selena Zito. She is a national political reporter for the Washington Examiner. Also with me, CNN analyst Nathan Gonzalez. Good to see you both. Okay, so now we have this video of the president, the sitting president's message that will be played during the concert tonight, where there will be 5 living, you know, former U.S. presidents, and President Trump expressing there that he and Melania want to extend deep gratitude for the assistance of all here, and showing this unity in values. And then there's much more after that. So, Selena, what's your reaction to the video that says a message of unity, yet the sitting president won't be there, and then you've got that with this backdrop of all kinds of language disparaging former presidents Obama and George W. Bush, and their criticisms, even though they didn't use the name Trump, but seemingly directed at the sitting president. So how do you make sense of all these varying messages?
Well, I think that Americans have actually, for centuries, been able to separate the drama and the theatrics of politics and going after each other, even though we've entered a new phase in terms of Twitter, social media, and so forth, in the way that President Trump uses those social media applications, but also that ability at the end of the day to be gracious and show unity when it's really important, especially, you know, in the aftermath of all the disasters that this country has faced in the past 2.5 months. So I don't know that it's that big of a struggle for the American people to see, you know, on a daily basis, the President Trump butting heads and taking on his political opponents. But when it's important and it benefits the country, for him to be gracious and say, hey, we're all in this together. This is really important. And I want to thank all the former presidents, you know, who are involved with this. Again, can I say it's so cool that we have 6 presidents, 4 or 5, 5 former presidents. Yeah, I don't know that that's ever been repeated in our history. That's really great.
It is extraordinary, but Nathan, it also seems like this would be a beautiful opportunity, a real opportunity seized to have the former president and the sitting president speak in a unified voice, particularly when there has been so much dissension expressed. So is this a missed opportunity for this White House?
Well, I tend to think that the way that it looks like it's going to play out, as Boris was saying, is probably the best way. I mean, if the president had showed up at the event, I think there would be so much media attention on every comment, every look and glance or comment between the former presidents and the current president. I think that what we're seeing the president fill what most people would call a presidential role in this event. And if people are going to criticize President Trump for not being there, they're probably criticizing his overall performance and performance on the hurricanes and the other natural disasters. But I think you could see it as a missed opportunity, but I think it would be a distraction from the real purpose of the event.
Okay. Meantime, as we're talking, we're also coming off a very tough week for so many, for the families involved of the 4 fallen Green Berets in Niger. The White House is